I want to go to the article that you wrote recently. Since you talk about people needing to help people, what you believe in. You wrote an article, very revealing article about the Indians, particularly Indians who came from the estates and how they were disregarded and not given what they deserve, basically. You talk about how they built this country, they planted the seeds that basically built the economy, right? What made you write that article?
My father was head of the Malaysian Rubber Board. He was the first Asian head of the Rubber Research Institute. He played a major role in an industry that, when he headed it, was 70% of Malaysia's GDP. Malaysia's wealth came from rubber. And his biggest gripe, the fight he had, even after he retired, was for the government to take care of the indentured laborers, the plantation workers, the estate workers, right? They had given their lives to build up our nation. They're Malaysians. They worked night and day for nominal wage. Insignificant daily wage. And they were forgotten. The rest became rich. They remained poor and out. No one took care of them. No one offered them anything. No one even remembered them. Now you go to Sungai Buloh, the place that my father headed and created. You can hardly recognize it because you got a big towers and all that, right? It's a big development by Kuap, Sungai Buloh. But what happened to the estate workers that used to live on the side, and that there's still progenies of the estate workers there? Completely forgotten. As we've grown, we've forgotten about the people that actually built this country.
Whose fault is that?
Government. No one else. I can't blame the Malaysian people. They don't know.
Right.
How will they know? You have estate workers. The plantation industry took advantage of them, paid them next to nothing, and became rich.
So, Dato', let's talk about that article now. What do you expect should be the right reparations for the Indian people who came from the estate?
I think right now, immediately, you have the progenies. You find the progenies. You have the progenies. Give them the opportunity.
Vaidya Murthy said 1 million per Indian. Do you agree?
I don't. You know what? You just talked about it, right? Give money and then what?
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
What will they do with it? Teach, train, provide opportunities. I'm sorry, Indians are not beggars. We are not demanding, I don't say we because I don't fall in that category.
Yeah.
I've been given everything as I grew up. But them.
So humble of you. But yeah, go on.
But them, them.
Yeah.
They, they are not beggars. They're not asking for anything more than what they deserve and what they're owed. That's it. It's justice. It's not, come please. No. Give those progenies, give those poor Indians an opportunity to grow and rise. Give them homes. You build so many homes everywhere and you just have this huge project in Sungai Buloh. Take a small portion of these terrace houses and give each family one house.
Yeah.
Simple. Now they have a home. Now give those children an education and access to education. Universities, access, training, vocational training, whatever is necessary to give them a future. Allow them to grow, give them opportunities, they will take care of the rest. I'm very confident of that.
But the interesting about this discussion is, and I always ask myself this, when Tun Abdul Razak wanted to elevate the Malays, NEP was formed, 30-year plan, executed brilliantly. Let's not talk about the outcomes, but it was executed well. The outcomes are different.
By Tun Razak, it was executed well.
By him, by Tun Razak.
Remember, he actually in Parliament, Dr. Ismail came and said, this is a favor we're asking from our Chinese and Indian brothers.
Correct, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we're asking you for this help.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone supported it.
Correct.
It's not Mahathir, then Frankenstein did.
Correct. For his own benefit.
For his own benefit to something else.
Yeah. But when it comes to Indian community, from 2013 to 2025, we've had 6 different blueprints. only one that was meant something because he was under Najib. He launched it and he put it under his PMO's office and in the form of SEDIC and all that. But why is it for us? It's so difficult to implement these plans.
Because it's this right. Okay. Let me try and answer you in this way. Malaysian Indians, we're the smallest of the major races.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We're a small
Yeah.
percentage of the population. But we have more political parties representing us than all other communities combined. Right? It seems that, and we have, think about it. We have IPF1, IPF2, IPF3, PPP1, and apparently there was a PPP2 at some stage. Right? Makal Sakti 1, and then there was Makal Sakti 2. Everyone wants power. And I think that's the problem. I see a few Indian leaders that really want to make a difference. I know they might not be popular names, but I actually believe, whatever everyone wants to think about the history, Saravanan wants to make a difference. I think Ramanan definitely wants to make a difference. And then you have really good guys like Gunaraj George. And then you have Charles Santiago, who to me is one of the most amazing politicians. Real man of the people. I mean, what dumb fuck didn't want to give him a seat that he was increasing the majority of? That's politics, and idiocy of the highest order. We lost probably one of the most amazing parliamentarians.
Yeah.
There. But there are these good people. Now, how do we get them all to just sit down and work together?
Maybe that's a pipe dream. Maybe that's building sandcastles in the sky. But should we focus on that, or should we instead privatize this problem? Businessmen such as yourself, who have the resources, who have the time, who have the ability, the network to actually implement, for example, the Malaysian-Indian blueprint.
Here's the problem.
It's not difficult.
Here's the problem. It won't work unless I get these leaders to be part of it.
Maybe you can ask your good friend Anwar, since he's Prime Minister now.
What I'm saying is that it cannot work unless the leadership, the Indians, play with it. Because otherwise, they will fight it. If they fight it, it'll never get implemented.
So that's why I'm saying a public-private partnership in this case will not happen. It has to be private.
Yes, private, but it needs to be supported by the politicians. I think you now underestimate how bad the situation is for the Indians. It's bad. Secret societies, crime, and it's not an Indian problem. Huh?
It's a Malaysian problem.
When there's crime, who gets affected?
Everyone, yeah.
Malaysian, Chinese, and others.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, the Malaysian Chinese are richer, so they get more affected. So it's a problem for the nation, and we have to deal with it. It's an unfair problem for the Indians because they're being left out, right, and being forced to go in the wrong direction. So we have to do something about it, and that's why I say social capitalism. You say business, we will do something about it. I will certainly do something about it within my scope, my abilities, and I think other Malaysian-Indian businessmen and non-Indian businessmen will also do something, and I'll get them to support. My hope is, in doing that, political support will come. When I say political support, I don't mean the government, I don't mean the Prime Minister.
You mean individuals?
I mean individual leaders. But you know what? I think people like Charles Santiago, I think all of them, I think you'd be surprised. What if I told you that I'm going to try and get all of them on a table and sit with me?
Impossible. No, you could. Because there is a reason for them to come.
And I got them to say, come work with me.
They won't do it.
What
party lines.
What party lines?
They have to abide by their party rules. That's politics, Dato. I mean, you have to abide by your party lines.
No, party lines. Well, what party is going to tell you don't help your race? Because that's what they'll have to say. See, what I'm saying is when a businessman does it, it's not a party, right?
It's individual.
Yeah, and I'm asking everyone to help me.
But if they could do it, then they would have done it, then we wouldn't have this problem. But the fact that this problem persists because they are not doing it.
What businessman has stood up and done it?
No, I'm saying
No, I'm asking you. What businessman was willing to stand up and say, I'm going to try and be part of the solution?
Aside from foundations, nothing much. No
foundations, yeah. There are amazing foundations that do it and do successfully. Tara Foundations, My Skills Foundation, they do their own thing.
But the problem persists, Dato. That's the thing. We have to stop at that.
So therefore, you say there's a blueprint. We have to sit down and work it out. And we, as you say, privatization, I just say, no, not quite privatization, but I know what you mean. But maybe leadership must come from the private sector with the politicians following. Now, the reason why the private sector can do it is because we can embarrass the shit out of the politicians.
Yeah.
Right? We'll just do it and make it happen. make them a part of the problem, solution, because they benefit. Give them the credit. Say, fine, you take over this, you take over your area. Here's a blueprint, here's a map, here's how the funding can come in. Let them do it, right? Because all it takes is for you to create a plan that works, then plug and play.
If done in the private level. If it done
done
private level,
then you plug and play and you give it to them. Let me take the credit. Let the politician take the credit. Bring in the private sector to help, but let the politician take the credit.
Oh, that's fine.
Right?
As long as the problem is
solved. I
solved.
believe that can happen. And I'm going to try to get them around the table. I'm committed to what I wrote. We want a solution. Now, we can't wait for government.
Of course.
Right? We'll wait forever. So let's create the solutions, show that it can happen, then bring government along.
That sort of says that you don't really have trust that Anwar can make the reforms.
No. Anwar will make reforms, but how many reforms you want in one day? That's why I'm saying social capitalism. We need business to be involved. Because what can one man do? How many legislations you want him to fix? All these things they want. Judicial, economic, and not economic subdivided into whatever multiple ones you want to work on.
Correct. Social.
Social. I mean, you name it. All reforms must have. Oh, very, very practical, right? Mr. Prime Minister, please.
Attend to this tomorrow.
Fuck everything else. Do this now. All right? That's all you do. Nothing else. Okay? Don't run the country. Why run the country? Just do these reforms. Okay? Forget about everything else. So easy, right? That's the beauty of being outside. Right? You can say anything you want. You can demand anything you want. You can talk about everything you want. And I just find that everyone outside is an expert. They're brilliant experts. They know exactly how to fix all the problems of the world. Right? Specifically the Malaysian problems. Because everyone's an idiot except them. It's so easy to fix. I'm sorry I'm making fun of all these, but the reality is different. The reality is just different. And, I see the reality. I see my friend aging like I've never seen anyone age before. With worry, And honestly, for the first time, we have a prime minister with no wealth. No wealth. No personal wealth, no family wealth. The most humble family you'll ever meet. Honestly, the most humble family you'll ever meet. All right? There's no wealth, so he's not out there to make money. He's not out there to make money for his relatives or his family. Anwar Ibrahim now only has one thing. Legacy. Legacy in the form of what will he do for his country? What will he be remembered for after everything he's been through? Everything he's been through. This is all he has left. In the end, what did he leave Malaysia? How did he leave Malaysia?
One could argue this is his defining moment with the tariffs, with the RMK13. What should he do now?
Next 2 years is his defining moment.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I said, give the man a chance. Watch what happens in the next 1 year. Then watch what happens in the final year of this term. And I think you'll be surprised. Will there be a lot of mistakes? Will there be things that are not right that I won't agree with? Absolutely. And I'll be very clear, right? When he wasn't Prime Minister, I didn't agree with him a lot. Okay? But that's not the point. We all have to disagree. We're all not the same. That's where great ideas come from. The debate, the disagreements, and then the conclusion of what might be a solution. That's what you want. That's intellectual debate for our country.
But back to your relationship with our Prime Minister, you support him, you stood by him. When you were going through all your troubles, when you were facing all these allegations, did he ever step back?
No, I mean, let's be very clear. Firstly, I was in hospital when everyone is, the allegation came on the day I had my heart transplant. By the way, something that happened 20 years ago.
Yeah. Don't forget that part.
In another country. What I'm going to do to them after this case is a different matter altogether. At the end of the day, I don't steal. I don't cheat. I make mistakes like everyone else. Have I failed? I failed many times. I've fallen many times. I've lost money. Mostly mine. But when you run a business and you lose, employees lose their jobs.
Yes.
Investors lose their money. I lose money. That's entrepreneurship. That's business. So has that happened to me? Of course. Of course. Luckily, I've done better than I've done. The balance has always been more for me than against me. But the bottom line is I have failed. I have certainly made mistakes. But I've never cheated, conned, stolen. That's why I've survived 3 governments trying to take me out. You can't dig for something that doesn't exist.
Were you ever tempted to harvest the fruits of your support and loyalty to Anwar? It's not
Anwar,
wrong. You did invest in him.
Anwar and I have a non-transactional relationship. That's the important thing. You must understand. If you're Anwar's friend, it's a non-transactional relationship.
Were you not offered?
It doesn't matter what I was offered. If it's non-transactional. And here's my problem, right? If I took anything, what can you imagine the tax I'd have? The non-stop, right? Let's be honest.
Definitely.
Right? Anything. Simply because of my relationship. No other reason. And I think, do you ask me the question whether he stood by me? Well, he was worried about my heart transplant. One line was, you dying anytime soon is highly inconvenient. I don't know what that's to keep me going.
The most compassionate line I've ever heard in my life. If you die now, it's inconvenient.
But, the bottom line is, he's always cared. His wife has always cared. And he's always been careful. My wife didn't want me to be disturbed or things, so he made sure no one disturbed me. No, it was just text messages between me and him, calls, and it was just a friendship, and it was nice. So did he I would put it this way. I took a position that I don't want to be a part of the government machinery. And if I ever do, it'll be because there's something I can actually contribute to my country. Right? And I made a decision a long time ago that I don't need government support to be successful. I find it strange that, I remember the early days, you'd hear people tell their children, oh, you work hard, then you get a government contract, you'll be all right.
Yeah, that's
right?
the dream.
Remember?
Yeah.
Right? The dream was, hey, government contract.
Until I found out what government contracts are. It's not the dream at all.
Yeah. So why should that be the dream?
Yeah.
Everywhere else in the world, as an entrepreneur, you just make your money, right? You go build your business globally, you do what is necessary and you build. So for me, I repeat, I've never taken a government contract in my life. I've never had government grant in my life. I've never had a privatization project in my life. I've never run a public company here in my life. I've never used public funds.
But would you entertain working with the government to implement the programs that you want to implement?
Yes. And I will. Right? That's different. What I won't do right now is I take on government contracts and do the same old thing. I don't need to.
Why have you not joined politics?
Can you imagine me in politics?
It'll be entertaining. Parliament seating.
Fuck, man. Shit. I have this problem. I don't know how not to call an idiot an idiot. If I learned how to not call an idiot, then I think I have a chance in politics. I don't know how to climb the slippery pole. Okay, rather, I choose not to climb the slippery pole. I think everyone keeps thinking. By the way, I've had huge numbers of people write to me and contact me to ask me to join. Huge numbers. Offering me positions, all these different parties and everything else. And what would I do? What difference would I make? I think I can make a lot more difference outside. Now, I've not been around, so forgive me. I'm just starting again.
Correct. After your you're successful.
Yeah, 6 failed attempts, nearly dead, and then the 7th one keeps me alive. I'm blessed by God. I'm very blessed. I'm lucky.
Yeah.
So I'm around for a reason, right? When they took my heart out, it was less than 10%. It's 8% operating, ejection fraction. That's how much. That means I was already going to go, but the 7th heart saved me. All right. So that gives you perspective on why you're here and what you need to do. So I'm very determined. Also, going after those people is to send a message to society that, look, this is what I will do. I'm a nice guy. And generally, I don't react. And that's why rumors get going, because I don't respond.
Yeah.
Right? But now I guess I have to make examples of one or two, and then maybe the others suddenly learn. It's that simple, right? And I have to make sure those examples are very firm and painful, so that they understand. Because, I have daughters, I have a family.
Yeah.
When people lie and sue for the sake of suing and use awful words like fraud and all that just because they want to make noise,
Yeah.
You throw the PM's name in, although the fact that he was in jail at the time.
Yeah.
It's just stupid, right? It's just dumb as shit. But okay, doesn't matter. Let it go. Deal with it. Finish, win, then make them examples. Okay? And others, there are media houses that have made statements, reprinted things that are just lies. Now, sorry, that's you pay a price for that. If you're gonna call someone a fraud, you better know what the hell that is. You better be clear, and you better know what the fraud is. I mean, as I said, it's that simple. Right? I have been able to stand up and walk around because I have nothing to hide. I have failed. I've made mistakes. I've not always done the right thing the way I should have. Knowingly, I've always tried to fix it. And it's one of those things. I mean, even salaries of these news thing that came out, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
they were
people
not
don't
paid.
know. The argument was a whole bunch of them didn't work. Oh no, I don't want to work in the office. Oh no, I don't have to work in the office. Okay, I don't have to work at all. I'll just wait to be paid. Now, I'm sorry, not all journalists are the same. There are outstanding journalists, and I have some of them, and they're amazing people. They helped me. They kept things going. All right. When I couldn't take care of them, they took care of things. I said, don't worry. You just get better. We'll deal with this. When I was in India, these are amazing people. Then there are those that are just, what's the word for it? Entitled. I have started to do things.
And apparently one of the things you're doing is coming up with your own book.
Not my book. My wife wrote a book.
Your wife wrote a book about you.
No, about, it's called Electing Anwar.
Perfect.
So it's about her experience during the elections and years before, and going up and down, and to that moment of the election and post-election and him becoming prime minister. She was the fly on the wall. She saw everything that was going on.
What did you do for him during the elections? What was your contribution?
I don't think that's something I can share. It'll come out in the book, I guess.
Share it here then. Come on.
Wait for the book. Wait for the book.
When is it coming up?
Buy the book. Well, she's finished writing. It's being edited now. And it's thick. It's a lot of stuff, and it's a lot of information. I wouldn't want to be some of the people she talks about. Let's put it that way.
Really?
Yeah, it's very open. She's very open about it.
So names and everything.
All of it.
Wow.
Names, times, details, the works. But, it actually shows, honestly, for me, it shows how real Anwar Ibrahim is from her perspective, how real about everything he was. It also shows a lot of idiots running around. I mean, has a lot to say about certain leaders in his own party, that cannot be named right now. But I think it's named in the book. And I think she even mentions the kind of words I used to describe them.
Really?
In a heated discussion.
When is this coming out?
Well, I think the editing will probably be done in the next month or so, 2 months, and then we'll go and publish it.
With whom? Who are you publishing it with?
There's a couple of options that have offered.
Okay.
We're just deciding how best to deal with it. And of course, I'm reading and going, oh shit, do I anymore? There's more noise. My wife was like, yo, how much noise is going to come from this?
Yeah.
And, we'll see. We'll see. But it is, I think, a loving tribute.
Okay.
As far as she's concerned, to the challenges my family faced in supporting one man for 25 years. Everything we went through. And she writes about it. And then what the support and advice and, thing we played in helping strategize Anwar's ascension. And talking about the people around that were actually wonderful and strong. And he had some amazing people around him that people don't know about. You know, really, no one I've spoken to really knows who this person is or that person is. And they were bigger key players than all the other people you hear about. You know, and I think it's right that I don't know whether they like to be named, but you know.
Will you be talking about the time post 2018 when that whole transition of power didn't really the handing over of the reins to Anwar from Mahathir didn't happen?
Yeah,
Are you talking about that?
A bit of it is that.
How was that time like for you?
How was that time like in 2018?
2019, yeah.
Let me put it this way. I was the happiest man in the world on the day we won.
Okay.
But I was not disappointed because I was one of the few that said, the fucker's going to screw you. The fucker's going to screw us all. I'll let you decide who I mean by the fucker.
I'm not even answering that.
Right? But the fucker screwed us all. Right?
Yeah.
You know? And I would have built him a freaking statue, forgive him everything, and hailed him as Malaysia's savior if he had just handed over when he was supposed to hand over. I would have, you know what? I would have just said, my God, this man, despite everything else he's done, this man saved Malaysia. But he did the opposite.
Definitely, yeah.
He did the opposite.
Yeah.
I suppose a scorpion can't change its character.
Yeah. A leopard doesn't loses its spots.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Well, at least a leopard you can go and paint. Scorpion, you try, you can get killed still.
Yeah.
But, you know, so, yeah. So you asked me about Anwar. And the bottom line is, he will always be my friend. He'll always be my close friend.
Yeah.
I've known him since I was 13 years old. And I will always admire him. And I didn't support him because I wanted something. What fool supports someone that no one believed would ever win? Right? Don't forget, I went through hell. Remember I told you when they came to buy me in the house. At that time, think about it. There was no question about Barisan ever losing power. Najib ever leaving. Never going to happen. But we stayed the course. Because right is right. You know, and sometimes you just have to stick. And as I told you before, good guys win in the end.
Do you think Anwar will stay on for a second term, or will he be a one-term prime minister?
I won't tell you what the plan is, but I can tell you what I would like to see.
Yeah.
I would like to see Anwar Ibrahim run the next election and win it, naming a successor, and then handing over the powers during the term.
Who do you think has that same cohesiveness to be able to glue the opposition?
I honestly think for Malaysia to go forward strongly, it needs to be a Bornean.
Because of their sort of...
their belief in what the Malaysian soul is. So, you know, it needs to be maybe a Slovakian. You know, I think that's the option. I think that should be the option. And why not? They're equal members of the federation.
Yeah.
Isn't it time that a Slovakian became prime minister? Or a Saban, but, you know, isn't it time? And there are many contenders that are good, that are sound, depending on how the coalition works. From our deputy prime minister to our premier in Sarawak to Shafi Abdal to, I mean, many people that are very able. You know, there are people in Sabah that won't leave. There are Sarawakians that won't want to go. You know, I almost think the Premier of Sarawak would think it's a demotion
of course,
to take the job of Prime
definitely.
Minister.
All the headache and lesser rewards. Yeah.
So, but, you know, I think that's what Malaysia needs. And I think that's what Malaysia needs for the post-Anwar transition, so that things don't get reversed.
So do you think that with Nurliza now in her position, that he's molding her to take over?
Really?
No, but is that something that you can see happening?
I don't know. I'm a very straightforward person. I like a person, and Izzah is a lovely person. But let her show her skills. Running a country is a very complicated game. So I think, just like everyone else, that wants power, you got to fight for it and show you're willing to fight for it. I mean, to be Prime Minister of Malaysia, you must really want it, man. Really want it. Otherwise, he'll eat you fucking alive, tear you up into pieces. I mean, that's, if you're not willing to fight for it and stand up for it, it will literally tear you to pieces. You got to have the ability to really take a lot and still stand and smile and bring everyone together.
I mean, you were part of the run-up to 2022 when he became Prime Minister. Will you be in a big part of his campaign in the coming elections? Because he's going to need you. He's going to need all the weapons, all the bullets.
I don't know if my wife would want me to go through all that, because don't forget, after the last election, I collapsed and I needed a heart. She'd liked me to keep this heart
for long,
a bit longer. But I will tell you this. There is no way I will not support Anwar Ibrahim.
But meaningfully, part of his campaign, part of those screaming
I will
meetings.
do whatever he needs me to do. Right? I will advise him bluntly and honestly, as I always have. And he will make his decisions as he needs to. And he's got quite a few advisors. And that's good. Because data is important. Get as much advice as possible, then filter it, and then make a decision. Right? And I think that's what he will do. And so the question to me is, will I be part of his?
Yeah, will you be part of it?
If I think I'm needed, if I really think I'm needed, if I don't think I'm needed, if I think everything's in place, and I'll support as much as I can, but without, it's really a question, is what is needed? And I think that should be in any campaign. You don't surround yourself with people that are ancillary. I mean, they can go do stuff. You surround yourself, or you have people that have a specific role to play to help you get there.
Yeah.
And I think next election will speak for itself as what's needed. Maybe I have to help the Deputy Prime Minister or whoever he names as a successor. I mean, look, at the end of the day, and what are the choices, right? If you look at Sarawak, it's either Abang Joe,
or Shafi,
the Premier, or our current Deputy Prime Minister, right? I honestly don't know if Abang Joe will want the job, because honestly, I think he would look at it as a demotion.
Definitely, yeah.
From the Premiership of Sarawak.
Yeah.
All right. Shafi Abdal, if who knows if there is in the unity government, if he comes in and he plays a role and Anwar brings him into the cabinet and he becomes, I don't know, DPM 3, who knows, right?
Yeah.
It's possible. He certainly has the ability. He is very Malaysian. He too will protect the Malaysian soul. Shafi Abdal is a good man. As is, Masiri Manjun and all the, I mean, they're, you know what, the thing is that they're all in different parties, but many of them are good men. All right. And that's the thing. All parties have good people.
That's true.
Just as the fact that all parties have a bunch of assholes. Okay. It's just the way politics
And generally the focus goes on them as opposed to the good ones.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's just the way politics is.
Yeah.
Right?
Sensationalism.
So I think, I have faith. Let's put it this way.
Okay.
I have faith in my friend. I have faith in my country. Believe it or not, I have faith in the people of my country, my fellow citizens, because I think when the time comes and when they are needed, they will stand and they will be counted. I think Malaysians are a very special group of people. I think this nation is extraordinarily important for the world.
Yeah.
Of not just how a multiracial, multi-ethnic, multilingual, multicultural, multi-religious country lives together, but strives together, thrives together. That's what is important.
Okay.
We're working, we're striving, and then we are succeeding and we're thriving. And we're doing it together. Yeah, we have our issues, but hey, what family doesn't have issues? Okay, it's part of the process. But you look at us and look at most other countries, honestly, man, we all complain, right? You see Malaysians, I don't want to live here anymore. I have a bunch of idiots from outside this country that come and complain about this country and say, why the fuck are you here? Oh, I don't know, it's nice.
It's nice.
It's nice.
But I have things to complain about.
But, the thing is that you look at this country, where else do you get this?
Yeah.
Where else?
That's true though, yeah.
Whatever our problems,
we have good,
look at this
yeah,
country.
definitely.
Our lifestyle, our opportunities. I mean, my God. Yes, we have things to fix. So fix them. We have to fix them. Sometimes it works. It's a lot of work. Sometimes a lot of pain. But as I said, you can't mend a broken bone properly without a bit of pain, without a bit of blood, without a bit of time.
Okay.
All right?
Oh, thank you, Dato, for that second episode. Now, it's a really interesting conversation we've had surrounding Anwar, but of course, talking more about you and getting to know you more. I would love to do this again. Maybe have episode 3, 4, 5. Do it Star Wars way. A trilogy of trilogies, if you will. And
when my book is ready.
When you're, oh yes, yes, please, yeah.
When my book is ready.
Definitely,
I am writing it. I can tell you that. It's called Dancing with Life.